Hello everyone, this is Deepti. I'm your admissions counselor for Japanese universities and I'm also a Japanese language and culture expert. So on this channel, if you're new, we do a lot of videos on education in Japan and we also talk a lot about Japanese culture, history, language. So if these are the topics you're interested in, please subscribe to this channel. So in our last video, if you remember, we spoke about the religions in Japan. Here I'm tagging the earlier video where we spoke about Shinto religion, which is unique and the native religion of Japan. In today's video, we are going to cover the other religion, which is more prevalent in Japan, which is Buddhism. So in the earlier video, we spoke about how Shintoism and Buddhism are two main religions that are followed in Japan. And today we are going to talk in detail about Buddhism. So Buddhism originated in India in about 6th century BC, and one of its main branches called Mahayana. Mahayana is the one that found its way to Japan through China and Korea. So Japan used to have very good relations with a kingdom of Korea called Pakche. And that is where, from Kudara is another name of Pakche. So from there, it traveled to Japan. If we go by the surveys, some surveys say that approximately more than 66% of Japanese population follow Buddhism. There are other surveys, we spoke about these in our last video, which say that it is about 30% of the population, while others say it is more than 60%. So why is this confusion? So we also mentioned that this confusion about the percentage of followers is primarily because there are many Japanese who follow both Shinto and Buddhism, and they have over time intermingled. So about Buddhism, after arriving in Japan, there were many sects, new sects that were formed in Japan. For example, there were two sects that were formed during Heian period. One was Tendai sect, and another one was Shingon sect by Kukai. There were other sects also like Zen, and which was introduced from China, Zen Buddhism. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. You must have heard about, minimalism and those theories from Zen Buddhism. These theories of Zen Buddhism were mainly popular among military class in Japan at one point of time, which was in 1191. There is another sect that you must have heard about, which is Nichiren sect. As I travel a lot to speak about Japan and Japanese universities all across India, I meet many people who tell me that they follow Nichiren Buddhism. These Indians, when they approach me saying this, trust me, it's very surprising for me that how Nichiren Buddhism has found its way back to India. Although it is a sect that did not originate in India, but now there are many followers in India of this particular sect. But there are other sects like Jodo Buddhism, and so these all sects, they originated in Japan and they were prevalent at some point of time. But currently there are two which are more prevalent. One is Jodo Buddhism, which has about 22 million believers, and the other one is Nichiren Buddhism, which has 11 million followers. As I said, there are most Japanese, more than 60% of them, they agree that they follow some practices of Buddhism at home. So they always, according to one survey also, most Japanese have Butsudan, which is the Buddhist shrine, in their home. And there is another survey which says that Japan is the third largest follower of Buddhism after China and Thailand. But was it easy for Buddhism to find its way in Japan? As you can guess, for any religion, it is not easy. So there was one point of time, which was during Meiji period, when the new government of Japan, they favored Shinto religion because that was their native indigenous religion. And there was a movement, huge movement to abolish Buddhism from everywhere in Japan. This movement was called Haibutsu Kishaku. So if you read this kanji, this means abolish Buddhism. This kanji in itself, it means that you must abolish Buddhism. So there were a lot of protests, there was violence, and there were many temples, Buddhist temples at that time, which got destroyed also. Kofukuji, which is in Nara, it is now a national treasure, but at that time it got destroyed completely. And it is estimated that about 40,000 Buddhist temples were destroyed during this period. But as I said, now things are different, and most Japanese, they follow certain practices of Shintoism and Buddhism both. Funerals in Japan are mostly carried out in Buddhist ways. So, talking about the Buddhist temples, they are called Tera in Japan, Tera. And most of the places, most municipalities have their local Teras. And it's very easy to find them. And certain places like Kyoto, for example, there are plenty of Tera, Otera, we call that with respect. So there are about several hundreds of Buddhist temples around there. So this was briefly about Buddhism in Japan. In our next video, we will be talking about Christianity, which again, there is a long story about how Christianity found its way to Japan, and we will also know what is the current status of Christianity in Japan. So if you like this video, subscribe this channel and like it. Thank you.